Hold on. I got multiple hats. Joel said I look like a dirtbag with this hat on.
Okay.
Ready?
I can go twice as high. All right, you look great. All right, we ready? In
Let's
5,
do it.
4, 3.
You be the player. I'll be the caddy. Let's go.
Let Us Heads, welcome back to another edition of Please Let Us Golf, the podcast. Tonight we're going to have a nice little Let Us rank. It's Goldie and Golfberg. The other two are still
Hello, it's a
recovering.
different edition because we've changed hats. We're fine.
All right, so this will be good. The other gents are still recovering from Wisconsin, still working on all that good stuff. But tonight we're going positive, the power of positivity, the top 3 things we love about golf, and we hope you love it too. So we're gonna get the emotions out. We're gonna go deep into the sensory overload. Mr. Golfberg, we haven't decided who's gonna kick us off first. Do you want to do the honor of going first?
I don't think so.
We
I
can't
want you to go first. I want you to go
And then-
first, and I'm going to compliment it with my first. So, Goldie, what is not necessarily the thing you love the most about golf, but kick us off with something you love about golf.
Okay, one thing I love about the game is how difficult it is. And I know that sounds maybe
Hell yeah.
counterintuitive,
Mm-mm.
but we had somebody on the pod, one of our,
It sounds intuitive.
our own, that says the game's too easy. What I love about the game, there's no shortcuts. There's no cheating your way to it. You have to earn it. It is a skill-based sport that no matter how much data wants to optimize it, you have to put in the work for years of consistency. You got to grind. You have to learn yourself. Like, it's not just a battle of developing the physical skill. It's where the marriage of physical and mental skill resides. So, and for me,
may I?
Yeah.
May I?
You may.
The gentleman who did say the game is too easy, by the way, playing fantastic golf right now. Shout out. But he's about what, a 7 or 8 handicap. There are levels to this thing, and as you get better, you start to see them, and you're like, oh, I'm a scratch golfer, but I would be annihilated by anyone who actually knows how to golf. And then there's the level you're at, and then you're like, but I would be annihilated. So it's like it starts. The better you get, the more the world of how insane the professional golf game is starts to be revealed to you. Anyway, please.
No, 100%. Like, that law of diminishing returns too, right? Like, are you willing to grind? It's kind of it's easy, and when you start getting that sub 75 scoring average, it starts getting hard to chip that away. But I was gonna finish this one off by saying, like, I'm a type A and a little bit of a control freak. I'm more of a planner than a control freak, but definitely a type A. And
your planning alleviates your control freakness.
Yes. But that is a real internal struggle for me, because in golf, you can have a plan, you can have a strategy, but you also need to react to, like, like, golf is highly variable, things you can't control. That's kind of the beauty of the game. So it's like it's almost like changed me as a person. Like, I know that sounds heavy, but
hell yeah. No, explain that.
No, it's because it's challenged me of, like, you can't control everything. And what happens to me in my personal life is that triggers anxiety. So on the golf course, if I've wanted to be more successful at being competitive in, like, high stress golf environments, I've really had to figure out, like, you got to let go, you got to plan, you got to execute. And when you have a plan and you execute and it doesn't go to plan, it's okay. Like, you just have to be able to react to it. But that's tough, especially if you have someone like me. So, but yeah, I love it, man. Like, the difficulty of it, you just, you wear that branded hat that you've been to a place, but it's like, I feel like I've earned going to some of these places. I didn't just walk into it and go, yeah, I got to start traveling golf and doing this. It's like, I feel like all those years and really decades at this point of putting in the work has got me to the point.
You birdied 7 at Pebble. Well, that's 2017. I saw you hit the
17th.
stick on the 11th hole at Pac Dunes, or was that the 10th? 10th hole.
That was the 11th hole. No, that's the 10th hole. You're right.
No, it was the 10th, right? Because the 11th, I actually thought I hit one that was going to hit the stick and it came up
Yeah.
15 yards short, which is a story of my life. I
Yeah.
hit such good shots that just come up short. It's crazy.
And that's
But
one of those things too, those signature holes, you have like what's going to happen in your head. And it doesn't always work out that way, but I think getting a little bit mentally
yeah,
stronger in the game, it's nice when it plays out.
one of the things that I really love about golf is that I'm pretty good at it. And I kind of honestly admire the fact that there are these golfers who can go out there and be maybe a 20 handicap, and they still dress the part and they have a great attitude. But, that's a lot of time and it's a lot of dedication and it's a lot of money too. So let me just, tip my cap to them for grinding for sure. But I've noticed that for me, it's the kind of sport where I can go practice and I actually get a complimentary return from that, and I really enjoy that, and I get a lot of gratification out of that. Um, and it's kind of just as simple as that. I think it's like conquering what really is such a difficult game. It looks easy at first, but once you get into it, you discover how infinitely difficult it really is to get to a high level.
Yeah.
And something about being in that zone where you can almost take yourself a little seriously,
Hmm.
but you kind of know you're not really that
Yeah.
good. But it's a fun place to be for sure.
Now that's a cool one of like you said, you could interpret that differently if you said, "Oh, well, I like it because I'm good at it," but then you give details into why. But that's how my personality is wired. I'm not one of these guys that can have 8 hobbies because I don't want to
No,
be mediocre at 8 things. That's not a reflection of you as a person, just how my brain's wired. I'm all
right.
in or all out. There is no like 1 foot in approach for me. And again, I recognize there are endless golfers who are significantly better, but I know like I'm good at it. And that is where you get yeah, there's a little bit of identity tied to that
Yeah,
too. So
big
yeah, I
time.
think that's definitely a fair one to start. All right, cool. All right. Number
Oh yeah,
one's locked in.
lock
All
'em.
right, number two, fun one. We're going to go into our travel and leisure section of the pod.
Hmm.
The it's the places in the world that golf can take you. We've been fortunate enough. I haven't done like tons of the overseas travels. We got a lot of that on the docket, but
Yep.
some of the most beautiful properties in the world are inaccessible to a lot of people. But golf courses happen to reside on them, right? So, like obvious ones stateside, you're talking Pebble Beach, you're talking
Yeah.
Whistling Straits,
Bandon
the big
Dunes.
one here, Bandon Dunes, the
Yeah.
most striking piece of land or
Hmm.
a property, I would say, in the continental United States. I know you've done Hawaii a couple times.
Yeah.
Um, it's literally emotional experiences. Like if you go to a sunset on the 16th at Bandon Dunes, or if you're on
Mm.
Sheep Ranch and the setting sun, and you're with a close group of people, you're it's gonna change you forever. And if it doesn't, like you're just not it. Like that, it literally
Right.
kickstarted why we're doing Please Let Us Golf because we were doing a lot of the travel and the kind of vlogging for personal reasons, and it was everyone in the family knew we loved it, and we're like coordinating with buddies to go pull off these massive things. But it wasn't just like we're not, oh, let's get away from the wives. That's not how we are. We love our wives.
Oh,
But
shout
going
out
to these
wives.
shout out our wives.
Hmm.
But these places specifically literally have a lasting impression on you. And they're the most peaceful, beautiful, and it just gives you like a sense of purpose beyond the game. And you really understand
Right.
why there's that group of people that go to that next level, that get
And
into the history and the architecture. It's not just because you're
let
trying to be like
me
a sicko. Yeah.
let
Like,
me compliment what you're saying. So perhaps you're the kind of person who enjoys architecture. You can go to Paris and marvel at how they intertwine these buildings along the river, etc. Perhaps you're the person who's the opposite. You love nature. You just want to hike. You want to be in the wilderness in the mountains. I find that golf is the perfect mix. How do I take this incredible nature, but just subtly carve it into this thing that is going to be this obviously the most fun game they've ever invented, but a place where we can be and kind of put our mark on it, right? Um, and it's truly beautiful. And like a lot of the best architects, obviously they do their best to just work with the land and they don't really overdo it, but they kind of just take nature, complement it by a lot,
mm-hmm.
and then put you
Yep.
on it and give you something incredibly fun to do there. I mean, that's
Yep.
just what else do people do on vacations? I don't get why people
I
travel
don't.
otherwise.
I
They
don't
go to
know.
drink or like sit on beaches. It's like, let's travel to golf. It'll take us around the world, babe.
Yeah.
Let's
And I
go.
and I and it puts you again, maybe shout out to the architecture world. Maybe that's it, right? And you can find
Yeah.
these natural landscapes. I get it if you're an explorer type,
Hmm.
but that little bit of human touch that gives you the
Mm.
proper vista to where you can see that it routes you to a point of the high point where you just get the view that you wanted to get. You hit the
But
shot that you just always envisioned, man. You can't beat it.
that's Bandon Dunes. You're literally
Yeah.
in nature, and anywhere you look, it's golf holes as far as the eye can see until you get
Mm.
to the ocean or like up to where it starts turning into hills. So
Yeah.
it's just the craziest combination of nature and then ingenuity by
Yeah.
us.
And I'll say
Um,
this, like, so Bandon's the easy one. Yeah, obviously,
sure.
because it's a miraculous, but once you get it's beyond that though too, like, just a walk of the Carolina, yeah, sand hills. Once you
Mm.
start really appreciating the game and you see these things and you start learning about it, like, again, we were just in Wisconsin, we're gonna be covering that in detail. Some pretty
A walk
insane
along the hills
terrain.
of Erin.
And you'll go walk around those hills of Aaron, which
Yeah.
again, we'll have takes on that. But in terms of a property and a view, like it's just amazing the things you get to see. So, yeah, shout out to the places that the game will take you.
Yeah, damn right.
Aaron,
So creating memories that last a lifetime, and this kind of goes into my next point. We're so good at
okay.
this.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you step onto the course, immortality is possible. I mean, and I say that with no hyperbole. If you take this game
No,
seriously,
zero.
no hyperbole. No, 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 no. In
Mhm.
very simplistic terms, you get a hole in one. My dad's had a couple of his name is up on a plaque at Red Rock Country Club, carved into those hollowed walls. Now I get it, natural disasters and time will eventually take that place away. But let's just, within the context of what we're going through here,
Yeah.
immortality. And I really, really think that is why pre-golf, hashtag pre-golf, one of the terms we've coined is so fun. Because
Trademarked.
anytime you're getting ready to go to a course, you've got four chances for a hole in one, maybe more if there's a short par four. You got four chances for an albatross. You could shoot the course record. Why not?
Yeah.
You could make 18 birdies. Every hole is
Yeah.
birdieable. Every hole is
Yeah.
birdieable. Maybe you're the first guy who did it. Maybe you'll get two hole in ones in a round. I
Yeah.
wonder what's Tiger's record. I don't think he ever had two. I know I've read an article about someone getting two or three.
Yeah.
But just this idea that you could literally have one of the best moments of your life anytime you step onto the golf course, if you're a
Yeah.
dedicated golfer, is intoxicating. And
Yeah.
it's what gets you out there. And then, at the end of the round, you're like, God damn it.
That's
Okay.
why pre-golf is what it is, right? Pre-golf is
Uh,
it's the greatest state
but by
you
the
will ever be in as a
but,
golfer.
but by the way, it also does get immortalized. Like you've got your scorecard. Like there is a record, and you're going to get to write a one, circle it twice, and sign it, and it's
Mhm.
probably going on a frame and the ball, and it's going on your wall. And like you could
Yeah.
be a basketball player and go on a hot streak and hit 12 threes in a row, and your buddies talk about it, and a week later that memory is faded into
Yeah.
obscurity,
Yeah.
meaningless. What
Yep.
else are you going to do? So golf just allows you to tempt the gods. The fate of the world is in your hands at any moment. God damn, part
Mhm.
threes are exciting. Woo!
Yeah.
If you don't feel
Yeah.
that, I don't know what's up with you.
No, yeah, no, hell, every time it's in the back of your head of the what could
Mm,
be. And
what
then when
could
it
be?
happens, it's the craziest shit in the world.
Yeah, man.
All right, well, cool, man. That's an awesome one. That is really good.
Uh,
Look at us, man.
thank you.
This power of
This is why
positivity and the
that's why we love
dream
golf.
dream golf. What could be? All
Golf.
right, so
That dream hat.
rolling on to number three, I might catch you off guard here. I'm actually going to defer back to you. So we do moderate planning for the ranking episodes. The ones that are
Hmm.
topical, we don't give we each other into any insight. But when we're going to rank, we want to make sure we're not going to have the exact same topics. But we ended up netting out on one that was pretty similar. But you got to it first, so I want to kick it back
Yeah.
to you for number three in the top three things we love about golf. Tee us up.
Yeah, I texted you first, so I'll tee it up.
So you get
And it's the generational family connection that we've created with this game. And it started with Papa Wally, Grandpa Wally.
Mhm.
Grandma Jean had a crazy ass swing too. But we're on talk. That's for a different pod. But
Silver Fox.
absolutely, the Silver Fox was a hell of a golfer. And he had a country club spot down in Florida, back in where was it, Boca Raton,
Mhm.
typical. And
Classic.
he could play, man. And he had he had a smooth swing for sure. He had a good short game. Totally obsessed with the game. Love the game. Um, and I think he got like he was a solid. I mean, what do you think? Like a solid like 5 handicap. He never really
Yeah.
touched the scratch level. He
Like
wasn't ever.
like a back in the day 5 handicap though when it was like pretty. I mean, you're talking Balatas, you're talking or
Yeah, for
pre-Balata
sure.
for him, you're talking
Right.
persimmons.
Pre-tech.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, you're talking like
Pre-tech, man.
breaking 80 meant something back then.
For sure. And a totally different approach to golf. I mean, even when I was coming up, it just wasn't like it is today. You weren't grinding the same way to get good. You were just
Yeah,
kind of doing your thing. But he found his connection to golf. He
he's
showed it
trying
to
to
his
mhm.
what? Yeah,
Kids.
anyway,
No,
he
no,
showed it to his son. What?
no, I'm not gonna go there.
All right,
I
fuck it.
cut myself off. It's for the best. So
All
okay,
right,
this
that's
is not
twice. But he showed it to his son. So my dad, obviously your dad, a little bit, and we can get into that. But I played with my dad growing up my whole life. He showed the brothers, and we have an insanely good connection today through golf to the point where I'm sure we would still be close. Obviously, we'd still love each other, but like, I don't know what it would be because our relationship is so heavily focused on which a golf game, what's going on. And it's truly a beautiful thing. I mean, it gives you something. We plan trips together, not since Kiowa. Have we done something? Oh, and what am I talking about?
we do the
Vegas.
Vegas we do the Vegas trips
Absolutely.
all the time.
What
And
we've
yeah,
realized is we don't want to get the old men out of their stomping grounds anymore. We just
yeah,
want to go to
we
them,
go to them.
right? Right.
Yeah,
We just
it's
want to
just
go to them
easier.
and make it easy. But now our kids are getting big. Your guy's starting to putt. He's in putting contests. My guy can stripe a driver. He looks like John Daly with his and Scheffler. He's got a very interesting swing. But just this idea that like we can kind of keep this thing going and have this fun family identity with it. We probably should just change our name from Goldberg to Golfberg officially. Something we can talk about.
Yeah,
Um, anyway,
trademark.
but yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
No, man. Yeah, that's yeah, I don't want to get too funny with it because that's
Get it?
serious heavy stuff, but no, I mean the same thing. Like we're cousins. I think we did not grow up knowing each other though because you were on a different side of the country. I was in the southeast, you were Midwest then West
Oh,
Coast. Probably outside of an occasional bar mitzvah or a wedding. But
right.
yeah, golf brought us together. Yeah, my dad introduced me to the game. Definitely, I remember my Chichi Rodriguez cut down driver that I had, and I probably had it
Oh
till I
yeah.
was way too old. But I had to wait for those Ping I2 hand me downs. But other than
Hmm.
that, yeah, I mean, introduced to the game, and then you kind of fall in love with the game through your own. For me, through my own lane because I didn't love it right out of the gates, and as I got a little older, I started to. And then but now it's the family trips are all golf predicated. You and I started doing the big ticket the trips like you were out west. We did the Pebble Spyglass, and
Pebble
then it rolls
Beach.
into
Yeah.
Kiowa, and then
But I
now it's
remember,
Silver
I
Fox.
remember golfing with you in Chicago. I was in college because I came down. Your dad gave me $1,000 cash so I could buy a Jeep Cherokee back in 2001. So you must have
What?
been whatever, right? So I met you and Craig. We played some golf, and I knew
That's
immediately your
10
swing.
birthday checks. That's 10 birthday
Yeah.
checks.
He didn't wait. He didn't. My dad wired him the money so that he could give
Oh,
it to me. Let's be clear. He wasn't
okay.
buying me a friggin' car. That's
Okay.
insane.
I was like, what the fuck is going on right now?
But I could tell right away you had a six swing. You compressed the ball in a really good way that I'm like, you can just tell people are good. They know what they're doing.
Cool.
So I'm like, yeah, we'll hook up later in life. And we
Yeah,
did.
we'll hook
We'll
up
hook
in
up
a
later in life.
decade.
And I remember, you're like, I'm going to Pebble. We made that happen. And since then, Kiowa, Bandon multiple times, Sand Valley. Obviously, we do cool trips in Vegas. We've got something really fun planned in the PNW. You may not know
Hmm.
that, but we're doing it.
Oh, I know.
Um, but I
Yeah.
got, my daughter could be playing, my son could be playing a
Well,
little bit. I
Well,
mean, it's
that's the
like,
thing. The linkage, my second linkage to that is then like to my kids, right? So two young boys.
yeah.
Obviously the eldest boy has been linked at me at the hip at the golf course. He's still
Hmm.
very young, but 5-year old and he's out there. He knows all about the puffin. He knows all about,
Yeah.
where he knows we're at Erin Hills when we go into Bandon. He's ready for the putting tournament. But not like, it's just the
That's
idea,
awesome.
you don't know what it's, maybe they'll hate golf, but the idea that maybe in a decade from now, we're going to be doing a weekend trip to Pinehurst and like, we're just going to be playing golf together is the
Amazing.
craziest thing in the world to me.
But
It's like the best.
yeah, it really is. But yeah, because if we're that's why we're not going to platform them now, though, because if they hate it, they don't deserve it then. So
Yeah, we're not
they,
gonna.
we'll,
We're putting
let's
in
let
all.
them
We're
come
putting
into
all
it a
the
little
work
bit.
for these little fucks. Are you kidding me? Gonna do
No,
like we got to do all the
no.
work, and you just
Is there any
inherit this?
chance? Is there any chance our kids could be as good as us? I don't know, man. I mean, we're better than our
Uh,
dads. My dad was better than grandpa. I believe that,
yeah,
but I
I
don't
think it's
know.
just maybe it's all relative though, because golf is golf. I'm gonna sound like Adam. The You can get pretty good at golf with the modern driver, right? Like if you're an athlete and can
Oh,
figure out how to keep it on the
sure.
planet, was
Especially
you could be like,
D1.
it's really weird to see the volume of not good golfers hitting the ball at 280 to 300, like legitimately. But
Wow.
we'll see. We'll see if they got that dog in them, man. They got that work in them.
Yeah, let's see if they
But
got
no,
that
man,
dog.
that's a great one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
man.
mean the that
That's
connection.
good.
So for the lettuce heads out there, they think we're just all silly. We're emotionless robots out there, just content creators.
No.
It's really all this started because we have families and we're trying to
Love of
figure
the
out how do you balance it? How do we love the game so much, but how do you prioritize and balance it? And this is like
we love the
a
game. We love our families. We
yeah,
love
it's kind of
life. We
it's
just
a
want to
this is what it is. This is a public exercise of trying to figure out how do you formalize your hobby without adversely impacting the people you love and
right.
care about.
You gotta lay the groundwork with the rest of life. You gotta do what you gotta do, and then you also gotta let your wife in and let her know how passionate you feel about that thing, and they'll
Oh yeah.
respect that. And if you can take care of business, then you can also go out and take care of business.
Look, before this pod, when we put the kids to bed, but had the laptop out and I had Lasonia Links, the first hole sign, and one was like left aligned and one was center aligned, and I pulled up the pictures.
Right.
I was like, Jenna, just what do you think's a better picture? She just looked at she's like, it's the same picture. I was like, no, this one's
Right.
literally like 3 inches further. And they tolerate that and they're kind of in on it. So
Yeah, they're
it's
kind of in
awesome,
on
man.
it.
It's kind
Yeah,
of in on it.
it's a
But
beautiful thing.
all right, man. Any closing thoughts on the top three things we love?
Just, no, just I also love golf carts. Shout out golf
Yeah.
carts. They make golf a
That'll
lot easier, and it's super fun to just drive around in a little car in some beautiful scenery, and then you get to play the most fun game ever. It's like the best connection of things. So shout out golf carts.
yeah, so you thought we were purists with all that travel talk and beautiful landscapes when
Nah,
really all Golfberg
still
wants is
walking,
just a cart for all of his stuff.
please.
Um,
Yeah, I got too
all
much
right,
stuff, man.
you do have a lot of stuff, and difficulty keeping up with gloves. Apparently, that was a theme in Wisconsin. But all right, man. So top three things we love about golf. That was awesome. No more
Oh yeah.
closing comments. We've already beat that horse. But as always, stay plugged. Peace. For Adam, comment, like, and subscribe.